Okay, to graph a trig function like sine, and it really doesn't matter the angle or the amplitude, they're all going to have about the same basic graph. For example, if I take y equals 3 sine negative 4 theta. Okay. One thing that we can look at is the amplitude of this. And the amplitude, remember, is the absolute value of the number in front of the function. So in this case, our amplitude is 3. Our period, and before we even get to that, because of the negative in there, we can remember maybe from class that we had talked about odd and even functions, or origin symmetry and y-axis symmetry. Sine is an odd function. It has origin symmetry, and one of the facts of an odd function is this, that sine of negative theta equals negative sine theta. So I can simplify my angle and make it positive by remembering this fact. So if I come over here and do y equals negative 3 sine of 4 theta, these are equivalent. All right. Because sine is an odd function. The amplitude is still going to be 3, because even if I have a negative in here, the absolute value of negative 3 is 3. But now, to do the period, remember I said 2 pi over whatever's in front of theta, in this case the number 4. So this has a period of pi over 2. So every pi over 2, it'll cycle through again. So in graphing this, I can go ahead and set this up. And list out what I know about it so far. I know that it has a period of pi over 2, so it's going to end at pi over 2. I know it has a height of positive 3, and it goes as low as negative 3. Okay. And now I need to find the key points along the x-axis, or the axis I'm referring to as theta here. So to do that, remember to find the intervals, you divide the period by 4. Or get pi over 2 times 1 over 4, which is pi over 8. So that means every pi over 8, and I can just kind of eyeball this a little bit, every pi over 8, I'm going to have one of my special intervals here. So at pi over 8, or a key point, 2 pi over 8, well, 2 pi over 8 is really pi over 4, 3 pi over 8, and then add another pi over 8, that takes me to 4 pi over 8. But 4 pi over 8 can be reduced down to pi over 2, which takes us to our ending point. Now I have to remember the basic picture of sine. Sine starts at our 0, 0, if there's no shifting left or right, and there's not. Normally pi then goes up, increases, and then starts coming back down. But because there's a negative sign in front, that means that we're going to flip it. So instead of going up to 3, it's going to go down to negative 3 at the next key point, back to 0, up to positive 3, and then back down to 0. So the curve is going to look something like this. And that's your graph with your period, your intervals, and amplitude all listed out on the axes.